always like, see, never, if they have asked you a question, ask them a question back if that question doesn't make sense. If that question kind of does make sense, acknowledge and then ask them a question back.
Okay.
Mostly, if you have a situation where you just got stuck and there is no more questions to be asked, you can just say, how do you mean by that specifically? Or can you help me understand a bit more so I can give you more clarity? Right? Always make the focus on them. As in, how can okay, help me understand so that I can give you more clarity. Help me do this, share this with me so that I can make it easier for you to understand, so that I can take the conversation in the right way, so that I can save time for you. So it's always because I can save time, do some benefit for you. That's why help me. Got it?
Okay. So like the question should be, can you help me understand it better so I can give you clarity? Yeah, so I can give you more clarity on
Yes.
situation.
Yeah, on this, or more clarity on this, or more clarity on what we are doing, more clarity on how this might potentially work, more clarity on how we can maybe make it easier for you to understand. Yeah. Always, it should be
Okay.
beneficial to them. It should sound like, okay, there's a lot of value to me, so I can share it.
Okay. Yes. So
Yeah.
should we start?
Yeah.
Okay. So Robert, would you be interested in?
Potentially, yes, but right now it might not be the right time.
Okay, Robert, can you tell me that what makes you think that this is not the right time?
This is a stage 2 question. You haven't even clarified what they even mean.
Okay.
Like, what do you
What
mean?
do you
Or
mean by that?
yeah, quick question, a small question to open this. We don't have context, right?
Okay. What do you
Yeah.
mean by that?
No, again, let's try better. Like, not just one cookie cutter thing. Try better.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, potentially, but I don't think that's the right time for me. But yeah, thanks for
Okay.
calling.
What do you mean by that?
By what?
So, yeah, you were talking about that it's maybe potentially not the right time. What do you mean by this statement?
Yeah, so ask the question in one line. Like, what do you mean by what? Okay, so I said potentially yes, but I don't think I appreciate a call.
Okay. Uh, can I ask you, what do you mean that maybe it's not the right time for this right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, okay, let's write it down. What do you say?
So I said that, okay, what do you mean by this that it's not the right time right now? It's not, potentially, it's not the right time just right now.
Right. So you don't understand what is the meaning of this. So that's why you have to ask the question, what is even the meaning for this?
Yes.
So then maybe I will say, what do you mean by some? Yeah, it's just not the right time, man. It's uh just not the right time, man. Things are stacked up and new hiring going on and a lot on my plate. So maybe call me back in 2 months and we can see. Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, okay. Can you help me understand the situation a little bit better? So maybe I can give you clarity about it.
He already said it. He already gave you clarity, some clarity. Like we have some context, right?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay, focus here now. So he just said it's not just the right time, man. It doesn't make sense, right? Still, we don't have any context. Things are stacked up. This is one thing that he mentioned. So he gave us, yeah, just an ammo to play around with. So did he give you a possible ammo? Right. So things are stacked up. This is one. New hiring going on. That's a situational. Like he gave something on situation. What is happening right now? He gave me the answer for what's happening right now. A lot on my plate. A lot on my plate. Right? So he gave me something else here. Call me back in 2 months. Do you see? There's like so many things to play around. Like I have options now. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Let me color them like separate colors. Do you see? There are so many things, right? I got this. By just asking one question, I got 4 things now, right?
Yes.
Now, from 4 things, I have to understand, I have to constantly scan that out of these 4, which are the things that make sense and what are the things that doesn't make sense still, even now, so that I can make this the new, you know,
Yes.
new non-context statement.
Yes, I understand the fact that he's quite busy nowadays, but what I do not understand is that why is he asking me to call him back in 2 months? Why not
Yes,
before
and
that? And what makes him think that he might be able to do this in 2 months? Or, the time frame. I'm not getting the time frame thing. Like,
okay.
why is it 2 months? Why not before that? Or maybe if I call you after 2 months and you'll be in the same situation. So, yeah, but that's an assumption. So just throw it out. So, but why is it 2 months? Yeah,
Okay,
maybe it's,
that's
yeah,
that's a good question. So
yes,
keep these questioning in your mind for now. Now, see, here is one thing. So when do you first of all open them up with a open-ended, a contextual question? Like, what does it even mean? What do you mean by that specifically? How do you define that? Can you help me understand a bit more? When do you say it? When you just have no context, but only a statement that doesn't make sense, right? So
yes,
you don't want to assume, that's when you say it, right? So for example, I don't think this is the right time for me now. That was the no context statement.
vague statement. Yes,
Vague statement. Let's say vague statement. Let's say this is the vague statement, right?
yes,
Whenever we have a vague statement, that's when we can use an open-ended question. Or what do you mean by that? How do you mean by that specifically? What makes you think that way? Those kind of like critical, opening questions.
yes,
Now, when they have given me 4 things to play with, 1, 2, 3, and 4, I have to see
yes.
what are the things, even in these 4, that still is fake.
Mm,
Okay. Now, what makes sense? A lot on my plate. What? A lot on your plate. Okay. Things are stacked up, new hiring going on. So, this is very specific, new hiring going on. So, this is not
yes,
fake. Let me
yes,
mark it as not vague.
yes.
But things are stacked up, as in what else?
Okay.
This is still vague, right? A lot on my plate, I understand. So the things are stacked up. So there's multiple things, and then there is new hiring going on. These 2 combined had made him feel that a lot on my plate. So this is still not vague.
Yes,
Do you understand?
yes,
And then there is like, call me back in 2 months. So this makes sense. Okay. He's feeling that there is too much work that he has to take care of. So he's not having the time for it right now. So maybe call him back later on, but he is interested. So targeting this is not, smart,
okay.
because it makes sense because he's having so much to do. Targeting this also doesn't make sense because why? Because there is a lot on his plate. It makes sense because there's things stacked up and new hiring going on.
Yes,
But new hiring going on also doesn't make sense to tackle because it's not vague. New hiring is going on, so he's having interviews and stuff like that. What doesn't make sense is things are stacked up. What else apart from hiring is going on?
okay,
So you target this.
okay.
Got it?
Yes,
So you target what? Now, if I say it's just not the right time, man. Things are stacked up, new hiring going on. It's a lot on my plate. So maybe like call me back in 2 months and we can see. You can say, sure, man, that's not a problem. I mean, when you say things are stacked up, apart from hiring, what else are you like focusing on right now that makes you feel that you're too consumed with work? See, this is such an authentic question.
yes,
That's the question that you can ask. The target what is fake, yes, but also sequentially. Like you have to analyze what are the things that doesn't make sense.
Yes.
So now what do we need to understand is, so I know hiring is going on, right? And then there's
Yes.
things stacked up. So what else apart from hiring are we talking about? What are the things are we talking about? Can you give me some clarity on that?
Yes.
Right? So you say, um, first of all, acknowledge. So that's fine. I understand. Can you help me understand? Can you give me some clarity on this? When you say, like, however you want to say the first part, that's fine. The main question is when you say things are stacked up,
Yes.
what apart from hiring are you focused on right now or spending time right now that makes you feel, not think, feel that you don't have enough time,
Hmm.
or makes you feel you are caught up
Occupied.
with a lot. So, see, a lot on my plate is not a vague statement to target. This is a reason that he gave. So, we will get back to that. That makes, if this is a feeling that he gets, something is there that is making him feel that apart from hiring. So, we can ask, what is this things are we talking about? These things, what are these things? Then he'll say
Yes.
this, and then you can say, okay, so you are taking care of these things all by yourself, or someone else is there on your team as well. Now we understand. Okay, is this a solo person, like in a solo team? We have like 4 or 5 team members. They're like, no, this and that, and this and that. Got it. So and now we can come to the hiring. How can we make sure that the hiring part is even more clear?
Hmm. Okay,
How?
so yes, maybe we can ask him about question that are you the only person in your company responsible for this? Or do you have a team? Are you responsible for HR? Cause
No,
you know
no.
you,
These
oh,
people will not have HR departments. You can just say, are you taking the interview yourself, or like you have someone taking the interview calls?
okay. Yes, so are you involved in the hiring process all by yourself, or is there maybe someone supporting you?
Yes.
Or
You see? So now see, first of all, we got a vague statement. We opened
hmm,
up with a open-ended question. We got multiple options to play around with. We target the vague statement again with an open-ended question. Now,
yes.
once we get the answer for that, let me
Hmm.
once we get the answer for this, so this is an open-ended question twice. So 2 levels we have used open-ended question. Now they will be like, let's say, what? They can say, "Yeah, what are the things that stacked up?" Yeah, so you know, some things, some issues with commissions, the existing realtor partners wants me to go to their events and help them that way. I'm also focusing more on my family. So yeah, just like a lot going on. Got it?
Yes.
So now we have what? We have so much information about them, this and this, right? We have a lot of information that this
Yes.
person focuses more on family. So family is a priority. We understand that he works with existing realtor partners actively. We know that he has some issues with commissions. Now we can tackle this issues with commission. What do you mean by issue with commission? But it's not important
Yes.
because right now we need to first of all identify if there is a chance of exploration. Can we get time there? So that's what we're trying to understand. Now, what we can ask is now you can go into optional question. Okay, got it. So now when you said about, and also like about when you said about hiring, is this you taking the hiring calls, interview calls, or someone else helping with you? Now we have given them option.
Okay.
Do you notice that
Yeah.
we haven't given them assumption question first? We haven't open-ended question, understand. Open-ended question, understand. Now you can say a option question to save
Yes.
time.
Okay.
So what is the question about the hiring? And also about hiring, you can say,
Okay. Yes. So
yeah.
you told me that there's hiring going on in a company. So are you the only person taking care of it, or maybe there's someone who's supporting you, or maybe who takes the interviews? Are you supervising it, or you're into it fully? Like, yeah, just
Two or
maybe.
three options only. Two or three options only.
Okay, so are you the one supervising the hiring process, or do you take interview calls all by yourself?
Are you taking the interview calls all by yourself, or
Are you
do you have an assistant
Hmm.
to help you with that? Okay, simple terms. Make it simple. Now, see,
Okay.
this is an option question
Yes.
because now you have had this conversation for quite some time. This option question is not going to turn him off. It's going to actually
Hmm.
be appreciated because you can save time,
Hmm.
right? And the targeting of the option question absolutely makes sense. We haven't targeted call me back after 2 months because it's irrelevant. It's
Hmm.
because he has a lot on his plate. Why does he have a lot on his plate? Because he's doing hirings himself, or maybe he's doing hiring, and there is other things. So let's say first, what is the other things? These are the other things.
Yes.
Okay, and all of these things are done by you. That's a yes or no question. Now you can say at this third stage, you can either give option question or a closed-ended yes or no question. Makes sense. Got it?
Hmm.
I would have said, oh, all these things are done by you only. Yeah, man, I only do it. Okay, that's cool. And also, like, mentioned about the hiring part, right? So are you taking the interview calls like you yourself, or like, you have an assistant with that? Just so I understand, right?
Yes.
Or you could have said the second option question this way. Okay, and I guess you can guess. This is another type of question. If you have two option question or two, yes or no or option question, it doesn't feel good. Then you can ask the first option question. The second can be a guess. And I'm assuming that you are taking the hiring yourself, right? Or I'm guessing that you are also taking the hiring calls yourself, interviews yourself, right? So there's other type of question.
Hmm.
Got it?
Yes.
So open it, open up, get more context, open ended, open up, get more context. Ask a option question from the response itself if if there is something possible. If now you have asked this closed-ended questions now about this one, then you still know that okay, there is one more thing I have to tackle from the first response. Now you go back to the first response, and because you have said an closed-ended question already, assumptive questions already, don't do another assumption question. Do a guess question. And I'm guessing this is there, right?
Hmm.
Or correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you are also doing this, right? Yeah. See, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 questioning, and then you'll open up a lot.
Hmm. So, like, yeah, you get him to open up step by step, yeah, question by question.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yes, I get it.
Okay. Now let's do another
Hmm.
situation.
Okay.
We will do this way. I will give you the response. You will ask the question. I'll give you another response, and then you will tell me. In every response, you will mark what are the ammo points or the state, tackling option. Let's name these things.
Yeah.
What do you want to
Yeah,
name
you
it?
can. Yeah, ammo's good. Yeah, you can just fire it back at them. Yeah.
Okay. Let's find the ammo. You will find the ammo, and then I'll mark it up.
Yes.
So let's say you've pitched me, and I've said, how long does it take?
Hmm. Yeah. So the prospects asked me how long does it take. Okay, so then how long does it take? So wait. Okay, so what do you mean by that?
What do you mean by what?
So yeah, I can ask from the, what do you mean by how long does it take? Like do the complete process, or just gaining
This is an
clarity?
assumptive question.
Yes.
This is
Okay.
an option question, right? How can we
Yes. No.
make this same question? This is a good question. It's not a wrong question.
Yes.
But you are saying this or this. What do you mean by this? Are you talking about this or that? No.
Okay.
Make the opening question
Yeah.
good.
What do you mean by how long does it take? Or okay, can I ask that?
What else? Make it better. There's a better
Okay.
way.
By how long does it take? Or mm, oh, right. What?
What is the part or what is the subject or the object that we need to expand first before we can understand anything?
Yes. Maybe we just want him to.
No. Which
Yeah. We should.
which word or the phrases?
Okay.
What is the
So how
important point
long?
of impact?
How long?
How long? What?
Yeah. Like.
Okay. If we just take how long, what is the question comes? Is there any legit question? Ask.
Okay. So. Yes. The question was written also in this scenario. It might have, what do you mean by how long? Or maybe you can just ask him that. What makes you ask this? Yeah. Can I know your intention behind asking this question?
Okay. We're getting closer.
Yes. Yes. Or what makes you ask this question? Or can I ask your intention behind asking this question? Okay. Or what? Can you guide me through the thought process behind? Or
You're skipping the main thing. Again, this is stage 2. You are going into this. Okay, this kind of, we need to have something very simple. There's a simple thing that's missing that we don't have understanding on.
Yes. The point that's not clear in this question is that why is he asking it? Like, why does he want to know that how long will it take? Why does it bother him? Or yes.
Okay, that's a good question. Yes, I haven't thought about that, but why is the time frame important?
Yes.
See, you need to come up with this question in the right way, right?
Yes.
Why is the time frame important? Right? Or you can say why. What makes you ask about the time specifically? But there is also one more important thing. This is it. What is it? What does he mean by it?
Yeah. It. Yes. He's referring to the process, or maybe he's referring to
Maybe.
he's referring to our services.
Maybe, right?
Yes. Maybe.
So when we are saying maybe, that means we don't know the answer.
Yeah, so we might not ask that question because it's an assumption question, and we won't ask it right away.
No. That's not what I meant. When I say it, right, and you are explaining it to yourself that okay, maybe he is referring to this, or maybe he's referring to this by when he mentions it. That means you don't know the why, the reason behind mentioning it and what it exactly is. You don't know that.
Yes.
That's why you have to assume.
Yes.
Right. So we have to first target it. What do you mean by it? Like, what are you trying to get more clarity on?
Yes.
About what do you want me to give you more clarity on the timeline? Like, I understand you are looking for the timeline. What specific part of the process do you want me to expand on? What are we talking about? Do you understand?
Yeah. The it part. Yes. Okay. So we have to make him open up on just it. What does he think it is?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So what is the question? You have pitched him like, okay, you know what, more this and that from this. Would you be open to have a possible conversation about this? Then you're like, how long does it take? How long? Like, what takes how long? Like, what do you mean by that
Okay.
specifically?
Well, what do you mean by it? Can you clarify? Can you give me more clarity about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you give me more clarity about when you mention it? How long does it take? You can just say it this way as well. So when you say like how long does it take, what are you referring it to? By saying it, what are you referring to? Just so I gain some more clarity.
Yes.
What do you mean by that specifically?
Mhm.
Got it? So let's write it down. Or and this is where your emphasis will come into play. When you say how long does it, what do you mean by it? What are you referring to? What are you specifically referring to?
Mm.
Got it?
Yes.
Does it make sense? This question is really good, right?
Yes. It's
Now
the
they will
first thing that
say
should come into your mind.
exactly. Like this is common sense actually. It's not we don't have to learn new things. We need to unlearn the conditioning and then just find curiosity like blank curiosity.
Yeah.
No assumption, right? That's what. We need to first of all, okay, how long does it take? How long does what take? Right?
Mhm.
That's the first thing that should come in your mind. Why does it not come?
Because
Right?
I'm assuming that I know it or he knows it. Assumption.
Yeah, assumption. So that's what like practice. Like, okay, I don't know, man. Like, is this gonna be beneficial to me? Beneficial as in how? Right? Doesn't have to be grammatically making sense. It just have to make sense.
Uh, just understand it.
Yes, that's it. So okay, so now let's continue. What are you referring to? Yeah, as in, your service. How long does it take to get me the results? What is the ammo?
Okay. So yeah,
What do you? Yeah,
how long does it take to give me the results? He's concerned about his results. So maybe I try to ask him that what kind of results does he expect from us?
that is good.
Yes.
Okay, give
Yeah.
me the results. And what else? Like first of all, see, is there anything else?
Yeah. in your service, how long does it take? Yeah, the long part. It's again. Yeah, it's just asking about
Okay,
it.
this is the
Yeah.
time frame, right?
Yeah. The time frame and the
Results.
results. Yeah.
So this
Mm,
is what we will be targeting: time frame and results.
yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, what is the question?
So when you talk about results, can you just give me more clarity about it? Like, what do you mean by results? Or maybe in this perspective, what do you think are the results? Or,
Better question. Like, yeah, as in
okay,
like your service, how long does it take for me to get the results? Take to give
okay.
me the results.
Okay, so like we can answer it in two phases. Like the how long thing, maybe you can just answer it like, our services are tailor made. So if you give us more insight about your situation, and what you're going through, then I might be able to answer it well.
And then
And then I might, yes.
no, no, no. No,
Yeah.
that's fine. Then I might be able to do this. But anyways, and then you end with the question. Go into the question quickly. Do
Yes.
not extend the statement.
Okay. And can you give me more clarity about the results? Like, what do you mean by the term results?
Mean by the term results is very simple. It's clear.
Okay.
Give me
So
the
no.
results. Okay, okay, that's good. But not in the right format. What do you mean by the term results? No. What results are we talking about? When you say results, how are you looking at that? Like, what are you expecting when you say results? Like, what results would you like? What results would you ideally look forward to?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So
You make it.
yes. Okay, so yeah, I'll just start from the beginning. So our services are tailor made. If you give me more insight about your situation and what can you give, if you give me more insight about your situation, uh, maybe I'd answer your question better. And if I ask you what what do you nah, it's the same thing. If I
Right, right.
ask you, yeah, if I ask you what results are you expecting, the main highlight would be that maybe can you give me more clarity about what kind of results are you expecting? Or
Yes. Yes.
yes,
Can you give me Can you give me a bit more clarity? Okay, so you don't ask too much. You ask little by little. In the
yes,
initial stages of the call, do not ask for too much. Listen, can you give me a bit more clarity? And with tonality, can you like help me with like some more clarity about this? Can you just help me understand a little more about this? So can you give me a bit more clarity about when you say
when is
what results
when or what kind of results are you expecting? Yeah, what kind of results do you expect?
do you expect from something like this?
Yes.
Like this. Okay, the reason we add something like this because we don't want right now in this conversation, right? When we are going through trust gaining process and then clarifying and this question probing and clarifying status in a situation, we don't go into what do you say? We don't talk about us. Forget about
Mm.
us. The purpose is to only understand and then give them clarity. Once that is done, then we ask, okay, what I have, does that is that something that you would like to explore further by any chance or no?
Mm.
Got it? And then
Mm.
you can get into then they'll be like, yeah, I mean, why not? Then like, oh, cool, man. Like then basic stretches 6, 7, 8. That's the easiest part, right? That's
Yes.
super easy. Now, does that basic structure feel easy now?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Implementing it, yeah, step by step.
Yeah, basic
Uh,
structure is easy.
yes, as you go through the call, the longer you talk to him, and maybe, it's just, you're slowly coming in and closing up on him. So yeah,
Yes.
the later phases are much easier as
This is
compared
the
to,
only difficult
beginning.
part. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not difficult. It's just that, it's not, there is no proper structure to it. It just have to, there is structure, but now I'm making this structure with you, right? So now we understood a lot, right?
Yes.
Open-ended question, option question, guess question, best. Or else
Mm.
open-ended option question. That's it. And then after these four questions, you can go into clarification,
Okay.
right? Or you can go into like clarification as in, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I have understood so far. Is that correct?
Yes.
Clarification. He feels understood. We've closed the loop now. Now we can say, okay, I mean, based on this, I think what we have might be of help to you. Or else you can say transition as in, got it. So can I make a suggestion or can I share something? Yes. Then you can say, okay, you know what? If we could, and then you share our process,
Mm.
the process in step 4. You customize
Yes.
the process based on whatever you know about them right now. You
Yes.
remove all the challenges, you add all the benefits, and then structure the process, and then say, is that something you would be even opposed to even having a look at something like that? Would you be opposed to even having a look at something like that? Just explore. No one would say no because right now you have gone through them with this.
Yes. Yes. You've made him explain and tell his problems. Now you've just suggesting a tailor-made solution to him. So yeah, it's naturally yes.
Yep. So, and then once they're like, yeah, sure, then okay, cool. I would like to explore this further with you. When is a good time for you to show up tomorrow? Like 11 a.m. work or like 12 p.m.? Like 12 p.m. All right. So can you share with me your email? Email done. Okay. 12 p.m. tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Cool, man. Thanks. That's it.
Yeah.
Got it? All right. So let's
Yeah.
go. What kind of results are you expecting from something like this? Then the person would say, how many referrals do I get? Quality of these referrals. What's the premise of the calls you set for me? This is what he says. Now, what do you say?
Okay. So he gave us clarity about his situation. Now we have to pinpoint things. Maybe yes, just hunt for ammo. So yes, number of referrals, quality of referrals, and number 3 is just the premises of the call. Yes, the maybe yes, quality of leads, and yes, the premise of calls. You mean like the quality of leads, or maybe the authenticity of the buyers.
So what are we saying to the realtors? That's what it means, right? Premise of the calls. But right now we have used a let me mark this. This is a open-ended question.
And
This is what?
this is also an open-ended question. Now we have to hit him up with an optional question.
Yes.
Yes, to shorten up the
So
conversation.
now, exactly. So if you ask right now, when someone is just, taking charge, when you have a personality who is taking charge right at
Yes.
you, right? Then you can, the optional question, you can just, open the second option and then leave and give him as a bait that if he takes it. Does it make sense?
Okay.
Or you want me to repeat it?
Okay. So
you can say, how many referrals, for quality of these referrals, premise of the calls. You can first of all see what is the priority. How many referrals?
yes.
This is normal. Like it depends, right?
Yes. Varies.
Yes. Quality of referrals. Of course, realtor referrals will be of good quality. That's the given.
Yeah. That's something we're sure about.
Yes. He also knows it. So you can also say, I mean, like the quality of realtor referrals is always good, right?
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Agreement question. So when you have situations like this, you can have you can ask a quick agreement question. I mean, obvious. When you have an obvious, before asking another question, you have an obvious here. You can say, I mean, quality of realtor referrals is always good. Would you agree? Yeah, it's better than anything in the industry, right? Yeah. I mean, so when it comes to the premise of the calls, do you mean that premise of the calls that we set with the realtors? What do we say to the realtors? Or like, what do you mean by that specifically?
You offer him one option and then leave it open-ended.
Open-ended, yes. But before that, I clear the quality part because quality is a very important thing.
Yes.
Quality is an important concern. Whenever quality comes, I have to prioritize. The premise of the call is connected to reputation. The quality is connected to effectiveness. The volume is just a number. It just depends. It varies up and down. And he also knows it.
Yes.
So you still have to acknowledge this. This has to be acknowledged. If it comes up, if he asks it again, then you have to acknowledge it. Otherwise, you can just leave it. Quality, you have to first of all make sure that, hey, are we on the same page on this?
Yes.
Quality on real referrals is always good. Would you agree? Yeah. Okay. So now, I mean, when you say the premise of the calls, do you mean like the premise that we set for you, like what we say to the realtors, or like what do you mean by that specifically?
Hmm.
Can you say this question again?
Okay. Yeah. By premise of the calls, do you mean that like what do we say to the realtors, or what do you mean by this statement?
The tonality is very important here,
Okay.
right? Say, and when you say premise of the calls, do you mean the calls that we set for you? So it's like surface level. Do you mean that the calls we set for you, as in expand the calls that we set for you, as in like what do we say to the realtors, or what do you mean by that specifically?
By premise of the calls, do you mean like what do we say to the realtors, or like what do you mean specifically?
What do you mean by that specifically, or what do you mean by like premise specifically?
Yes. Okay. By premise of the calls, do you mean like what do we say to the realtors, or what do you mean by that specifically?
Okay, if you say it this way, do you mean this, or what do you mean by that specifically? It sounds like two options, but
Hmm.
these are two unknown options. The first one is
Yes.
an option, and the second one is a question. So if you say
Hmm.
it this way, when you say like premise of the calls, so first state what are we targeting? When you say premise of the calls, state
Yes.
it. Do you mean the premise of the calls, as in what do we say to the realtors, or what do you mean by that specifically?
Hmm.
Put it first. When you say premise of the
Yes.
call, do you mean that what do we say to the realtors on your behalf, or confused? On your behalf, or I have no idea. What do you mean by that specifically? That tonality. I have no idea.
Hmm. Like when you say the premise of the calls, do you mean like what do we say to the realtors, or what do you mean by that specifically?
The or, it has to be like or like what do you mean by that specifically? It's like you are saying or an option, but then you decide, okay, I don't have any idea, man. Like just you help me with this.
Yeah, confused.
Just yeah. So you just go with the or as if something is there, and then you say, I mean, what do you mean by that specifically? What do you mean by that specifically? What do you mean by premise specifically? Can you help me with that?
Hmm. Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Try
should I
it.
repeat? Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So when you say premise of the calls, do you mean like what do we say to the realtors, or what do you mean by that specifically?
Okay. Better. You say, man, we have had like 2 hour training today.
Yeah, yeah.
How does it
Good.
feel?
Nah, it's good. Yeah, we just had short breaks in between, so no, that's good. Good to go.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Interesting, right?